Welcome, sisters, to Unit 14 of Peter Roach's English Phonetics and Phonology. This video is going to cover 3 units. What is labeled as Chapter 14, and also 15 and 17. Now this first page has more information than we need on it. But one thing of interest is this first line, where it identifies English as a stressed timed language. Now, a stressed time language contains syllables that run for different lengths of time, such as in the word about, where the second syllable lasts longer than the first. Pretty much every word in English of 2 or more syllables has varying lengths for those syllables. It takes longer to say some of the syllables than it does to say others. The comparison is to syllable-timed languages, where all the syllables are roughly the same length. Because English words have syllables of differing lengths, the language is a stressed, timed language. Here's an interesting video by a YouTube author on the rhythm of a stressed, timed language.
Let's look at an example. On the screen, you'll see a series of sentences. And the sentences have 3 words that are the same. We have dogs, and we have chase, and we have cats. But as you look at the sentences, they get longer and longer. At least they get longer and longer on the paper because we're adding more syllables. But listen to me as I say these sentences. Dogs chase cats. The dogs chase cats. The dogs chase the cats. The dogs will chase the cats. The dogs will be chasing the cats. Now, isn't that strange? We keep adding syllables each time we say the sentence, but each sentence takes just about the same amount of time to say as the shorter one before it. And in fact, the first sentence, dogs chase cats, takes about the same amount of time as the last sentence, the dogs will be chasing the cats. That's because each sentence has 3 stressed syllables: dogs, chase, and cats.
Note that what speeds the sentence along in that example is its cadence, its rhythm, its harmonic beat. So a stressed timed rhythm is one in which stressed syllables take the time. So just something to be aware of in English, because Vietnamese is a syllable-timed language, which means that when you read English sentences, you will have a natural tendency to treat each syllable as taking the same amount of time to say. This will contribute to a marked difference in the way you sound when you speak, as opposed to the way a native speaker sounds when he or she speaks. So we can skip the rest of that exercise and go straight down to the audio. This is where English starts to become fun. What we have are juncture pairs, where we must decide where the boundary between words occurs. We're going to listen to some word pairs, and we are going to try to identify which word pair is being said, either the word pair in column A or the word pair in column B.
Key playing. Key playing.
So which do you think? Is he saying keep laying or key playing?
Key playing.
If you said B, you are correct. The next one, is it might rain or my train?
Might rain. Might rain.
Which do you think? If you said A, you are correct. Might rain. He lies or he'll eyes?
He lies. He lies.
Which do you think? If you said A, you are correct. The next one, is it keep sticking or keeps ticking?
Keeps ticking. Keeps ticking.
If you said B, you are correct. What do you think? Which is it? If you said B, you are correct. For the next one, is it gray tape or great ape?
Grey tape. Grey tape.
Which do you think? If you said gray tape, A, you are correct. The next one, and I won't say it first.
I scream. I scream.
Ice cream or I scream? Which do you think? If you said B, you are correct.
Teach art. Teach art.
Is it T-chart or teach art? If you said teach art, you are correct.
My seat. My seat.
Is it my seat or mice eat? If you said my seat, you are correct. So let's see if we're right. And we are. Onward to Unit 15 of Peter Roach's English Phonetics and Phonology. We said before that English is not a tonal language like Vietnamese, but it does have its tones. In response to the questions, I've filled them out for us. A language in which the meaning of a word can be changed by changing its pitch or pitch movement is a tone or tonal language. In English, our sentences change tone, or we change tone for other reasons, such as emphasis or the asking of a question. The pitch or the pitches between a speaker's highest pitch level and his or her lowest level make up the speaker's pitch range. So, is my highest level just like this, or is it more like this? The difference between the upward lilt and the lower assertion is my pitch range. Now, when people rise or fall in tone, there are specific reasons, and the next 6 questions provide some of those. So I'll just read them. The English rise or rising tone is associated with questions and with expectation of more information to follow. Did you give me that worksheet? There's an expectation that I'm going to hear something back. The rise-fall tone is associated with strong approval, disapproval, or surprise. I didn't know that you were going to do that. The fall tone is associated with finality. It is what it is. The level tone is associated with responses to routine or uninteresting questions. Honey, did you take out the trash? Yes, dear. The fall-rise tone is associated with limited agreement or responses with reservations. I think I did what you wanted me to. The intonation of a list usually has a rise tone on each item except the last, which usually has a fall. I went to the grocery store and I bought eggs and ham and peanut butter and trash bags. This is similar to number 5. The fall tone is associated with finality. Moving along, we have an audio exercise. For each polysyllabic word in the list below, choose from the drop-down menu the tone you heard. So let's try it.
Possibly.
Is it a falling tone, a rising tone, a fall-rise, or a rise-fall?
Possibly.
If you said fall-rise, you are correct.
Decided. Decided.
If you said fall, you are correct.
Inevitable. Inevitable.
If you said rise, fall, you are correct.
Saturday. 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 Saturday.
If you said rise, you are correct.
Terrible. Terrible.
If you said rise, fall, you are correct.
Disappeared. Disappeared.
If you said fall, you are correct.
Definitely. Definitely.
This one is another fall. Listen to the similarity in the 3 falls we have so far.
Decided. Disappeared. Definitely.
All the same tone. They're falling from a starting point to a lower pitch.
Indeed. Indeed.
This one is rising from a starting point to a higher pitch. Listen to the 2 we have so far.
Saturday. Indeed.
Same tone. One of rising tone. All right, what have you noticed?
Agreed. Agreed. Disappeared. Definitely. Decided. Agreed.
They're all falling. Listen to the difference between falling and rising.
Agreed. Indeed. Disappeared. Saturday.
The last one.
Personally.
If you said fall, rise, you're correct. Let's listen to the 2 fall rises.
Personally. Possibly. Personally. Possibly.
And the 2 rise falls.
Inevitable. Terrible. Inevitable. Terrible.
Into one of each.
Terrible. Personally.
It's an opposite intonation. Let's check them. And of course we are right. The final unit we will review is Unit 17 of Peter Roach's English Phonetics and Phonology. Here we have one exercise in which we are asked to examine a recording of a news broadcast. The story relates to the transporting of a whale called Nemo from one zoo to another. We will first listen to the whole broadcast and then listen to each tone unit A tone unit is a phrase that has at least one tonic syllable, and a tonic syllable is the last prominent syllable in the tone unit where the tone change begins. So let's see if we can identify some of these. What you're looking for is the point at which the tone change begins. First, we will listen to the whole thing.
The 9-hour operation to move Nemo from Clacton to Windsor involved a police escort, medical specialists, civil servants, 10 frogmen and a mobile crane.
Notice there are 8 tone units in that sentence. The first is this one.
The 9-hour operation.
Where did you hear the tone start to change?
The 9-hour operation.
That's right. A, in operation. We had a rising tone up until this syllable, and then it started to fall.
The 9-hour operation.
Let's try the next one on your own.
To move Nemo. To move Nemo.
It happens here. You tell me the next one.
From Clacton to Windsor.
Of the 6 syllables, where does the tone start to change?
From Clacton to Windsor.
That's right. Wind. The 4th tonal unit.
Involved a police escort.
Did you hear it?
Involved a police escort.
You did. S. Let's try the next one.
Medical specialists.
Of the 6 syllables, where does the tone begin to change?
Medical specialists.
You're right. Specialist. Spec.
Civil servants.
Of the 4 syllables, where does the tone begin to change?
Civil servants.
Right again.
10 frogmen.
That one's almost too easy. There's only 3 syllables. It starts to change right in the middle.
And a mobile crane.
Where do you think it starts to descend?
And a mobile crane.
That's right. Right at the end. And let's see if we're right. And of course we are. That is the end of this series. I look forward to speaking with you again in the next set of exercises.